Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us. We're Health Partners America, or HPA. Our core focus is to build a community of world-class industry experts, and our niche is to be the best in the world at supporting and elevating our brokers' prosperity through training tools and technology. So by being on this webinar, you've joined hundreds of like-minded agents or brokers who look to us here at HPA to stay ahead of your peers by staying on top of what's going on in the industry. We focus on putting you in the position of being the most qualified and credible benefits consultant in your area who has the knowledge and solutions your clients need. So, what is happening in the insurance industry right now? Some of you may be thinking it's akin to this. But if you're a licensed agent or broker right now, there's no reason you shouldn't be thinking more along the lines of this. You should be feeling like you're riding a ginormous wave right now, and that's because of what's going on in this industry right now. So let's recap, in a nutshell, how what's happened to us so far has gotten us to where we are right now. Since most of you know what's happened up until now, we're not going to belabor this, but we do want to run through it so you know how we see things. So we are going to run through this really quickly, so buckle up. When the Affordable Care Act, or ACA, was born, we got minimal essential benefits. Individual insurance was put on par with group insurance. Both federal and state marketplaces were created that involved subsidized care, and for many, it meant premium reductions, available to about 60% of Americans, and to get that, you can't have group coverage available to you. And the premium costs of any individual plan can't be more than 9.5% of your household income. And that brings us to the issue of what the ACA meant to group coverage, businesses, and business owners. The big question that arose was in regards to the tax penalties as outlined in the ACA under Part A and Part B, which understandably has taken, and is still causing much strife and confusion. As most of you have witnessed over the past couple of years since the ACA was introduced, we've seen all kinds of reactions to this part of the law. But it comes down to this. The penalty outlined in Part A for companies is $2,000 per employee if they don't offer insurance. But those lucky employers with less than 50 employees don't count. They're exempt from that annoying penalty. And if a company offers group coverage, then most employees are blocked from it and don't qualify for government subsidies to help pay for individual coverage if they happen to want to opt out of their group coverage. So, you follow me so far? Part B's penalty takes a little more brain power to work out. If you offer unaffordable insurance, as defined in the law, then the employees will be allowed to access subsidized care, and the employer will be penalized a whopping $3,000 for each employee affected. Whew. So, all that's going on in whammo. It's October of 2013, and the first open enrollment happens. And that was pretty much something like this. There's no argument now in stating that no one was ready for it. Not the government, not the state or their commissioners, not the carriers, not the employers, not the American people. No one was ready for the 98 million website visits and the 33 million calls or the 8 million enrollees during that time. And now I ask you this, for the most part, how did the majority of employers deal with all this? Well, they basically stuck their heads in the sand while kicking a can down the road. And I hate to say this, but what we witnessed to a large degree was that a lot of group producers actually encouraged them to do it. And you know who you are. Some tactics employers employed, and what a lot of group producers told them to do, was to push back the renewals as far as possible to avoid the 2014 regulations that for many of them wouldn't have hurt them anyway. And they would have been better off engaging with the ACA than ignoring it. Which brings us up to today. What the Affordable Care Act has done is they've created a situation that has resulted in an influx of consumers who are, and who will be spending money on their insurance. And it looks something like this. You've got companies that are going to stay with their group no matter what. You have companies that realize the law has changed the landscape and they need a hybrid solution. They've got like core employees that are better off staying in the group, but they have non-core employees that are better off in the individual marketplace. And by non-core, we're talking retirees, part-time workers, seasonal, COBRA eligible, geographically disparate folks, 1099s, etc. And then you've got those that really would be better off just dropping their group entirely, or they already have, or they never had a group to begin with. They're 100% individual market. What we want to see at HPA is more agents who understand this and what it means to their own earnings and their clients' well-being. At HPA, we train our partners to not tell an employer what to do, but to show them the facts using our pay or play assessment that leads the employer to the scenario and the solution that best fits their needs. So why are we stating all this as fact? Well, first off, because it's the law now. Like it or not, health insurance is now like your car insurance or your homeowner's insurance, in that you have to have it or you'll get penalized. That by itself should clue agents into the fact that the industry has created for you a true, live, in-your-face, going on right now, absolutely phenomenal and glorious volume issue. If you're not seeing it or not sure how to access it or get to it, all you have to do is make some adjustments, and we can help you do that. That's what we do. Many of you watching this are already partnered with us, but for those of you who aren't, HPA is not a brokerage firm. We actually partner with brokers like you to make you more successful. But anyway, back to this volume business. Because there is a volume issue now, and because it's getting ready to avalanche through the second open enrollment, it's imperative that insurance agents have a volume solution. Lots of agents have volume solutions for group, but they need to have one for individual as well. Agents shouldn't be running from all the activity and avoiding customers because you don't know what to tell them. And you should not be playing like there's nothing new going on by doing nothing or encouraging your employer clients to run or hide or postpone or ignore what's going on. What you should have already done or need to know now, and what you can do now, is you need to basically change your hat, pivot your strategy. Stop referring to yourself and seeing yourself as just an agent and become a benefits consultant. Because that's the mindset and behavior required to take advantage of and to embrace, in a big old bear hug, this $1 billion market shift that the ACA has literally handed you with a big old ribbon around it. You have to have a volume solution for the new individual marketplace. Many of you have a volume solution for group, but not for individual. There are millions of Americans getting individual coverage, and that avalanche of individuals is increasing. It's not decreasing through this second open enrollment. And as our partners know, even between open enrollments. Let me ask everyone on this call right now this question. Of the 8 million Americans who got insurance through state and federal exchanges set up by the ACA, how many of those 8 million people did you make commission on? How many could you have made commission on? There are over 316 million humans in the United States. It's now law that they all have to have health insurance. If you don't already have a turnkey, proven, and reliable volume solution, then I have to ask you, what is your solution? If you don't have one, don't worry about it because we can help you. But what's going on in the industry right now? A gift horse, that's what. You've got thousands of business owners who don't know what to do, and they need someone to give them sound advice. They need someone who can and will give them a solution no matter what they decide, group or individual, or a combination of both. Again, back to this picture. You've got thousands of people who work for a company that either already dropped their group plan or who won't drop their group plan, but they still have these non-core group of people who need alternate solutions to their group plan. If you give them a solution, they'll use it and you rather than using the federal and state sites. And don't forget, for those companies in this group who, for whatever reason, are keeping their group plan, you've got thousands of people who might want to opt out because there are individual plans now that are better and cheaper for their families. And guess what? You can provide those companies with that option so they have a solution for all their employees. You can be the one who gives them your exchange site so that they can buy insurance from you instead of from the government, no matter what they decide, no matter what their company decides. So now I ask, if you had a volume solution in place by having your own marketplace exchange site and your own team of licensed agents to handle the volume, if you had those things in place, what percentage of over 316 million humans in the United States do you think you could get to come through your exchange? Where they'll get personalized service, where they'll get options for other products besides health insurance, where they'll be treated with dignity and respect, and where employers would be proud to send their employees. How many do you think you could reach? Thousands, easy. We, Health Partners America, have been doing what we're doing for over 4 years. We, too, were at the mercy of the quirks that everyone experienced last year during the first open enrollment. But folks, this is a whole new ballgame. This is a map from last fall showing the states that did and did not have on-exchange carriers. And this is what it looks like today. The carriers now have a grip on the situation. All the states now have qualified and eligible plans through various carriers, and more individuals and business owners understand their options. They just need someone to help them choose what option is best for their company. And folks, that should be you. A lot of business owners are realizing now that they really should have acted and figured out a solution months ago rather than have postponed their renewals. But it's okay. There is a solve. Individuals are also understanding their options, and they're learning that for many of them, they're being blocked by their employer's group coverage, or they're learning that they can opt out of their group coverage and get better and cheaper insurance, even without a subsidy, even between open enrollments. Both businesses and individuals need an expert they can trust who has a solution that's flexible, that's available, and that's a positive experience. And you as a broker need a solution that provides all that, plus capitalizes on the millions of people in the individual market. You need to be able to provide quality service to a huge number of people, and you can totally do this. We know this because we have hundreds of brokers and brokerage firms that use us and come to us daily because they realize that they either need to build the solution or buy it. And folks, it's really too late to build it, and it's a heck of a lot cheaper to buy it. And that's the solution that we provide. For example, to become a basic partner with us, and we're going to get more into this in a little bit, startup costs are $900, and then it's just $200 a month. To be totally decked out, ready to go, and we don't charge you for pay-or-play assessments or the marketing tools or anything. Your monthly fees include your first exchange site, a CRM, access to the call center, a whole lot more than I'm going into detail right now, but I'll tell you in a sec how to get more information. But I will say this right now, folks. We know Black Friday is a huge shopping day, but please don't be calling us at Thanksgiving demanding that you have a site up and built for you that day. This is why we're having this call now, before open enrollment, because you need to get your ducks in a row now, and you can get into the game now. So let me tell you what our partners do. It's really quite simple and effective. First of all, they think big. Volume. They let go of the misperception that they have to sell each and every policy themselves to their customers. And they realize that unless they think bigger, their livelihood is in jeopardy because there's only so many hours in a day. And all of us in this industry know how long it takes to present, sell, and maintain health insurance policies. And since commissions have dropped so drastically, there's just no way to sit one-on-one with enough individuals that make them enough commissions. And there's too many people needing coverage, and no one person can handle it. So remember this image? That's what happens to folks trying to do it all themselves. So think big. Our partners think big. They tackle the volume. They use marketing tools that we provide them, like presentations, brochures, etc., to consult with employers. They use a powerful pay-or-play assessment tool provided by HPA that shows the employer in black and white what their solution is, and it helps them decide what they should do with their group plan or other options. Then, like mentioned before, regardless of the results of the assessment, they provide for that company an HPA-provided private exchange site that can be branded to each company, white labeled. And using ready-to-use collateral, that we provide them, our partners help communicate to the employees what the exchange site is, and each employee now has a solution and a place to go purchase insurance products, health, life, all kinds of products. Whether the company drops their group or that employee quits or is COBRA eligible or is a part-time or a seasonal worker or has a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a cousin who needs coverage of some kind, whatever, they'll buy their policies from your exchange site and they'll tell all their friends about it. And here's where the leverage comes in that addresses the wonderful volume issue. Our multi-million-dollar call center full of licensed agents in all 50 states, ready and waiting to handle each and every individual health insurance inquiry that comes through your private exchange site. As our partners move on to repeat the entire process with another employer, they keep an eye on all the activity and the sales that the call center is doing on their behalf through a customer management system that we provide for them, so they're never not in the know. They always know what's going on. And just like that, you're catching fish with a net instead of a pole. Volume, people. Think jumbo jet instead of two passions or plane. Take care of people en masse. Don't limit yourself to one at a time. You're shooting yourself in the foot if you're trying to do that. And if you're not providing people with a solution, they're just going to bypass you and go to the healthcare.gov site or to another agent who did get their ducks in a row now before you did. So know that you can have this solution. It's easy, and we do make it easy. So here's where we get those questions from those of you who are a little resistant to giving up on doing the individual health sales yourself. You're saying things like, yeah, that's all fine and good, but how much commission am I giving up? Fair question. And if you're not asking that, I'd question your business acumen. So check this out. A typical agent selling health insurance to an individual. So to help compare apples to apples, let's say you're wanting to target employees in a certain company that has 45 employees. First, you'll have to make the initial sale with the employer or the owner of the company, right? And if you're doing this on your own, you're going to spend however many hours creating or finding and paying someone to create some professional collateral so the employer doesn't think you're working out of a shoebox. And once you're done with that, then you meet with the employer and either guess at what they should do because you don't have a pay or play assessment, or you work with a third-party administrator who will charge them a few $1,000s to get the same information. And say that you figure out that the best thing for them to do is to drop their group and transition their employees to individual plans, just for this comparison. You then give the employer a pitch that includes you setting up shop in their break room for several weeks while you meet one-on-one with each of their 45 employees. So, working with the employees for that company one-on-one, realistically, how many of those can you do in a week? How many do you do in a week? You'll spend at least 2 hours doing the initial individual sale with each employee, depending on how good or experienced you are, and that may be more or less. And you may sell some ancillary products and gap coverage, but we're just going to assume just health right now. Okay, so you've spent 2 hours with the employee, and then God knows how much more time dealing with underwriting and basic customer service issues. And if it's issued, you might make $24 a month for that one policy, right? And at 45 employees at 2 hours each, you're talking realistically maybe 4 employees per day and 20 a week. So it'll take you about 2 weeks just to do the initial sit down with each employee for that one company. And let's assume 30 more additional minutes per employee for follow-up through the individual health policy underwriting and issuance and all that stuff. And that's 112 total hours over about 3 weeks. And just for kicks, we'll assume everybody gets issued. So at about 6% commission, you've made around $12,960 for the year for 112 hours of work for that one company. Okay, so now let's try our best to compare this to a volume strategy. Back to the initial sale with the employer or the owner of the company. There's no need to create any collateral or marketing materials because they're already there. So starting tomorrow, you're talking to an employer and you show them a video that lays out their options for them, and this leads them to the realization that they need to do a pay or play assessment on their company So they ask you how quickly you can get that done. And since you have that assessment and the tools that you need and all the information you need to run it, because you've partnered with HPA, you don't need to guess or find a third-party administrator to get involved. And you get the assessment done fairly quickly, while simultaneously working with your HPA account manager to set up an online market exchange branded specifically for that company. And when you review the results of the assessment with the employer and see that it does make sense for them to move to individual policies, you already have pre-written messages provided by HPA, online tools, and easy to access and easy to follow instructions ready to go out to their employees, along with individual assessments for each employee that helps them see their options and whether they're subsidy eligible and all that good stuff. All of which will guide them to their new company exchange site where they'll shop for their health insurance. It's all tied to you, along with other products, via a friendly licensed agent from a team of agents located in the fulfillment center, doing the one-on-one work on your behalf. If you used the same hours we allocated over here, but redistributed those hours you spent in the one-on-one conversations to conversations with employers, because that's what you'd be spending your time on, you could essentially meet with 1 to 2 employers a day, easy. But let's be conservative and meet with 1 per day. And let's say of those 5 companies you meet with that week, 1 has 20 employees, 1 has 10, 1 has 80, 1 has 45, and 1 has 105, for a total of 260 employees that can be accessed in 1 week. If you're a basic partner, your share of the call center's commission is 20% of what they earn, which may not sound like much until you understand the volume element. Assuming you spent 5 hours per employer on each case, that's about 25 hours worth of work. At the 20% rate, for those 260 employees, you're looking at about $19,968 for that week's work, as compared to the $4,320 for 1 week over here, where you sat one-on-one with each employee. And next week, you're going to repeat the entire process just like that if you're using HPA's practices and strategies. But over here on your own, you're starting from square one again, having to find an employer, then work with a TPA or whatever to help figure out what to do and so on. Yes, I know that it's unrealistic to assume that all these policies would be issued. But again, I'm trying to compare apples to apples. You could always assume you'd only get a certain percentage issued and take the numbers down respectively, but the difference will remain the same for illustrative purposes. So here's another caveat to this. You can join HPA at different levels and build a team. If you come on board at the next level up from a partner, it's called a Partner Plus, and you earn 25% commission off what the call center brings in. And for each partner you recruit, you earn 5% of whatever they make. So let's say you, as a Partner Plus, do the same amount of work, only meeting with 1 employer per day. Well, your numbers would look more like this, at $24,960. And if you had 1 recruit under you, they'd be making their 20%, but you'd be making 5% off what they made. And if they were meeting with 5 employers a week, that's their $49.92 added to your $24,960, which is $29,952. So there's another level over Partner Plus for larger GA types, and they make 30%, but you get the point. And we've only calculated health policies here, not gap coverage like accidental and critical illness. And if you're wondering how realistic it is to land 5 quality appointments with employers every week, it's very realistic. We have a relationship with Intelitech, who many of our most successful partners use to book all their appointments for them. And the average rate of the close rate of our call center is about 2 to 2.5 policies per person. Okay, so there you go. I'm not even considering or including in this example our fabulous discount card that anyone can sell to companies or individuals that includes Teladoc. Teladoc's that little service where you can basically go to the doctor over the phone and get prescriptions filled and everything. Employers are eating it up because it's inexpensive and adds a lot of oomph to their benefits package, and employees love it. Anyway, commission from that isn't even included in this, and whether they keep their group or not, employers are offering that discount card because of its huge value. And it pays great commissions. It's part of our sales presentations, and it's really an incredible little card. So anyway, that example did not even include that commission. But think big, people. You know, I'm the vice president of operations and marketing here at Health Partners America, and I've worked with the company since it started, and I wanted to do this presentation because I wanted to say this. I continue to be baffled by some of the folks that will see what I just showed you, like with these figures, and still say, no, I just can't give up that much commission. And I've stopped trying to make them see the light, and I've instructed my team, which consists of the account management team who provides support for our partners. I've instructed them not to waste their time trying to convince someone of this opportunity if they just plain refuse to see it and are so set in their ways that they're okay shooting themselves in the foot. I tell them to simply ask, okay, if you don't see how the solution can help your clients and make you a ton of money, then what is your solution? What are you going to do? And they never have an answer that makes any sense. And that's okay. This strategy, our tools, HPA's team, works. It provides the volume solution. It provides needed help to employers and individuals, and it puts brokers in the driver's seat and allows them to turn this misperception into this reality. And as you know, group renewals are coming in again, and this time, renewal plans do have minimal essential benefits, and they're mostly all compliant, unlike last year. However, we still have a lot of confusion in the marketplace, even with insurance agents. That's what's going on in the industry right now. Know the mindset of your clients and have a solution for them that addresses all their possible scenarios. Have a volume solution for yourself. Remember, we can help you. If you go here, you can learn more about HPA's services. And once you're in here, this video right here will go into quite a bit of detail of all the services we provide and will help you understand why brokers partner with us in the first place. And once you've watched this video, you can access the ordering page from here. Or you can go straight to the ordering page by going to this URL. And you can call us with questions. However, we get a lot of calls after we do one of these webinars, so please watch this video on this page and look over the FAQ here before you call, because these two things will answer most of your questions. Please do us a favor and look at those first. We are going to tell our business development managers to ask you if you've seen those first. As you're diligently writing down this information, I did want to mention a couple of real-life examples for you. I was talking to one of our business development managers yesterday, Mr. Doug Foshi, and asked him to give me some recent client stories from some of our partners, and he did. So one is, we have a brand new partner who's working with a large restaurant that just dropped 350 seasonal employees. Well, if that restaurant had been working with a group broker who had their head in the sand and had no individual solution, that broker would have watched as 350 potential policies just walked right out their door. There would be nothing that they could do. But fortunately, our partner did and does have a solution because he partnered with us, and from that one group experience, he's going to have some pretty nice revenue. And another example is a partner who's in contact with a national trucking company that dissolved. It created 4,000 COBRA-eligible individuals. With an individual volume solution, our partner is going to be able to help and handle that mass of people needing help. For another partner, we're putting together a deal with one of the largest franchises in America so that that company can address all of their franchisees' non-core employees. Through HPA and our partner, that franchise and all their franchisees are setting a precedence by positively applying the ACA law to take care of their employees. That deal is worth huge residual income for our partner. He's a very happy camper right now. So I'll close this up. Again, the agent who keeps up with the misperception that they'll make more money if they write all the health policies themselves, they're really kidding themselves. And if you're an agent who hasn't had a surefire individual solution that can handle the amount of volume that's out there, here's your sign. HPA has nothing but good news to describe where we are in this industry right now. We'd love for you to join us and show you how you can do this. We can help you. We have hundreds of partners that will tell you they're so glad they did this. You need to be one of them. Folks, the truth of the matter is this industry needs benefits consultants who know what they're doing, who have integrity, who are smart, who can think outside of the box. Before we end this call, some things to note about HPA's solution. As I mentioned before, you can partner with us at various levels, and there's opportunity to build a team under you. While health leads from your exchange sites are handled by the call center, you don't have to route other types of lines of services to the call center if you don't want to. For example, we have some partners who are P&C agents, and they want all those particular leads to come straight to them so that they can handle those themselves and not the call center. So we do that. There's quite a lot of flexibility there. So anyway, we are very excited about what's happening in this industry. No matter where you are politically, there is a huge multi-billion-dollar opportunity for licensed agents. And we have the incredible job of helping those agents find and grab that opportunity, all while helping their clients. If you haven't already, we hope you'll join us on this incredible journey. See you later.